Friends, welcome. I welcome again for our study on Sociology of Religion too, and I trust that you are very well and your family are safe despite the frightening challenges around, including the coronavirus and so on. And let's thank God that we could begin this semester and this first week of the study together today. And I wish God's continued peace and grace to abide with us throughout this week and throughout our study. As we begin this week and our continued study of this semester, I have prepared a kind of checklist for us to double check the various aspects of the program so that we are familiar with the program a little bit more and begin the study together. I hope and pray that you will enjoy the study and the journey of learning together with me, and I wish God's blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you. Brothers, as we set out for a long journey, for instance, on the ocean in our canoe, already as we begin the journey, we set clearly the destination, or the land, the island afar to which we have to travel and touch ashore, or even to cover the various places on the way. Likewise, in our journey of learning for 8 weeks beginning today, we do have a overall purpose or destination that I mentioned in my welcome and introduction video clip for you. That is to identify the two major forces, namely secularization and globalization, that challenge, influence, and affect our lives. Also to reaffirm ourselves as the catalyst for constructive changes and see how best and what kind of best strategies we can devise in relating and resolving such issues that we face today. Therefore, we set a few learning outcomes which I have listed in this checklist. The learning outcomes that we need to strive and try to achieve during this process of learning includes, first, getting to know the various terms, theories, and properties of secularization and globalization. We not only just get to know, but also familiarize with such terms, theories, and properties, and integrate them very critically. And then we do have another outcome that we are trying to achieve in the process, that is demonstrating critical awareness of changes associated with secularization and globalization. Not just getting to know the changes connected with secularization and globalization, but also have a kind of critical awareness that includes how these changes are caused by personal, spiritual, social, political, and cultural contexts, and how personal, spiritual, social, political, cultural contexts do resist and influence these changes associated with the secularization and the globalization process in our nations and in the region today. We will also look at the various issues that evolve and bother us, and we wrestle with the various issues that comes out in the process of secularization and globalization. We will analyze and evaluate and critically connect such issues. The other learning outcome that we need to strive and achieve is to take responsibility to develop strategies on our church's response to the impacts of secularization and globalization, and also to see how best we can help others to take responsibilities to do so, to develop strategies on church's response to the impacts of secularization and globalization. Another major learning outcome that we should strive together and individually in these 8 weeks is to communicate, to be able to communicate to a range of audience. For instance, in our churches, there are different ministry groups like the women, the youth, the children, and people of different categories. To communicate to these different audience the roles on the roles of the churches in the context of secularization and globalization in our churches, in our families, and in our various organizations in the Pacific today. So these are some of the learning outcomes that we need to keep striving every week and see that we are able to achieve these different learning outcomes. The method of learning is collaborative method of learning. That is that we get involved, everyone in our team get involved and participate in the process of learning. The collaborative learning method includes individual personal reading, reflection, especially day by day, the readings from the textbook, Hamilton's book, as well as the additional resources given in the Moodle, or I may give continuously through the emails and so on. Personal reading and reflection. Another method is collective sharing and discussion through the email, Moodle, WhatsApp messages, and calls. Again, I think in one of the requirements, I ask you to share your draft with your peer members, other fellow students, and receive their insights and their questions so that you can develop your paper. So that is another important collaborative method of learning, collective sharing and discussion, especially when we are not able to have the classroom discussions. It is very important that we need to strive hard to keep up that method of learning as much as we can using whatever means like email, Moodle, WhatsApp messages, and so on. The other method is observation. We will review our experiences as individual members of this team and share it with each other, how we observe things happening in connection with secularization and globalization in our various families and communities and churches in the Pacific. We will share what we have observed and what we continue to observe, not only in the Pacific but also in this PTC community and among our peers, our fellow students as well. And another method is writing our reflection and reflection papers and research papers. The requirements, the assessment for us to see that we achieve sufficient grades and pass in this course. Say 10% of the grades goes to the response to lecturer and the homework in the first week of learning. This week we do have a homework, if you see in our updated introduction and guidelines document or in the Moodle. So, and throughout our learning during these 8 weeks, I will continuously assess how you respond to the lecturer as well. So 10% of the grade goes to that. For the analytical reflection papers, there are 20% of the grade, and there is a special reflection paper, 20%, and also term end research paper, which takes the 50% of the grade. We will come back to these various papers and their details in the coming slides. Now we look at the requirements one by one. The first one is the response to lecturer and the homework for which there is 10% of the grades, we make this response to the lecturer in the following ways. Whenever you receive an email from me, please make sure that you indicate to me, write to me, that you have received, acknowledge the receipt of that email, and also you look into the message or the content of the email or the message and then make a comment on that. And then it is important that you access to the Moodle. I know that it's not easy for some of us, this being the first time. I hope the training, the workshop that you had with Professor Holger has been helpful. You can always contact him and others around who could help you out in accessing to Moodle. Continue to do that, especially in PTCEE. Please contact Nitish and get his assistance as well. Accessing to Moodle, you will find reading materials, resources, and guidelines that I usually put up. And please indicate to me whether you could access to them and found it helpful or not. Then there is another way in which you respond to me is the homework. The first week homework we will see in the Moodle. It's clearly stated, as well as in the updated introduction and guideline, that document. You will see that there is a homework. There are actually 2 homeworks in this week because the focus of this week is on recapping or reviewing the learning that we had on sociology of religion in the past semester with Dr. Kiki. So I ask you to do a homework of only 100 words or so to say what you understand. In your own words, you say what do you understand by sociology of religion. And the second homework is because we focus on secularization first in our readings and so on. The homework is to say in your own words, in 200 words or so, what do you understand by the word secularization? So that is another way of responding to me. And then in your response to me as lecturer, you will also respond to me whatever I communicate to you through the WhatsApp, and eventually I might call you and ask you how things are going. It's important that you respond to me very clearly so that I can help you out further. We will probably use the Zoom meeting depending on the possibility in the near future. The second requirement is analytical reflection paper that gives you 20% of the grades. You will do the analytical reflection in one topic. In every week you might find 1 or 2 or 3 topics, but you pick up one topic from each week during the weeks 3 to 6. You will make this analytical reflection kind of critical response to what you read around that topic. You'll make that response for 1 to 2 pages based on the assigned weekly readings. When you make this analytical reflection paper, make sure that you indicate the author, the title, the publication date, and the pages read. Then when you do the analytic reflection number 2, reflection paper, another thing that you have to keep in mind is you have to make your personal and analytical notes on the various insights that you read. It shouldn't be just a summary of the points, but your own personal perspective, personal view, or personal criticism on those particular insights that you read. You bring your critical individual point of view on the most important concepts and ideas. You pick up the various important concepts and ideas and make your own personal point of view. Raise questions like, what are the essential concepts, ideas, and insights that I get in these pages that I read? How are they connected? And what are the implications of these various insights I see, which the author did not see, or he didn't, or she didn't bring out? Raise questions like that and make your paper very critical and very much of your own point of view. Also consult texts and text from the bibliography list, the list of PDF files and so on, which I have placed in that folder of resources and ebooks and so on in the Moodles, as well as which I will be continuously emailing you as well. And very important for you to look into that general reading resources folder in the PTCE Moodle and find out those various PDF resources and consult them when it comes to these various insights that you read. You need to consult those various resources that I have taken much time to help you out with, so that you can access to them. But especially because we can't reach to the library, I have really found out, with the help of my colleagues and others, these various resources for you. So please consult them and give a list of the bibliography or the list of e-books or the books and articles and journals that you used. Please make a list of that and submit the analytical discussion paper at the end of every Monday, latest by 11:55, said just before the day finishes. It happens beginning week 3. Please note. I give you a note there in the checklist to say in week 1, you are asked to do a homework by way of preparing towards the weekly study. Hope this is clear. The other requirement in this course that gives you 20% of the grade is special reflection paper that you write and submit in week 7. You will eventually, please note, eventually you will be developing this paper into your term end research paper. When you make this special reflection paper, what you do is first you choose a topic from a list of themes proposed for the term end paper, for which there is guidance in the next slide. After choosing a topic from that list of themes, you prepare one-page notes on the outline and the summary of the paper. Then you are asked to circulate it to your fellow students in this team of learning and receive their peer comments, your peer comments from the rest of the friends in this team. Please make sure you comment on the constructive kind of peer comments that you receive, and then you make this paper and submit it. The content must look like this. The final draft of this special paper should include an overview of the topic, a sketch, an idea of what's coming in, an overview. B, the reasons for my interest in these subjects. What made you, what drove you, what were the reasons for you to have an interest in this subject? Say that. And then in that paper, you also say the types of resources you utilized. Could be from the readings of the particular textbook, Hamilton's textbook, and also the other resources you find in the Moodle list and the list that I'll be sharing with you as well. Types of resources you utilized. Then you must also state clearly in that special paper, special reflection paper, my initial reactions to the information. When you find out some of the insights that you got there regarding secularization or globalization in those pages, you'll have a kind of initial reaction. For instance, it annoyed you, or you got so angry, you got encouraged, and so on. What were the initial reaction to the information that you collected? And then you say what kind of personal response you want to make to such an issue that you have read. Either, I think, when it comes to that time, we will have covered secularization and globalization, one of these issues, your personal response. Then my local church's response that you could see. Please note that as well. And then you list the various resources and the books or PDF files that you used. As a minimum, I expect 5 of them from you for this special reflection paper that takes 20% of your, that gives you 20% of the grade. However, there is a note for you. Please adhere to time limits and the final dates and the submission set date and so on. Please take care of that as well. Thanks. For the list of themes from which you had to choose a particular topic for your special reflection paper, please refer to the introduction and guidelines document that I gave you, found in your email or Moodle, and also you can see it in the Moodle as well. The list of themes are mentioned in there. As you write your special reflection paper, please remember these important requirements when it comes to that special reflection paper. First of all, after you choose a particular topic from the list of themes, you finalize that choice of your topic and inform me as the lecturer on Friday the 1st of May 2020. Friday the 1st of May. Then, as soon as you write and inform me your topic, immediately then you work on your outline and the major points as you continue to read around the topic. And then maybe you can work on that one-page kind of notes for which you will be circulating for your to your fellow students. Work on that for about 10 days. Around the 10th or 11th latest, you must make sure that your one-page notes reaches your fellow students. And then from there, the fellow students take another 10 days or so to put down your comments and questions in connection with that one-page notes that you receive from the other student who has chosen and written around the topic. Then you send it to that particular writer, and then the writer continued to work for another 10 days, and then you submit that special reflection paper in week 7. That is on the 2nd of June 2020. On the whole, I repeat, there are about 30 days for you to prepare this special reflection paper. As soon as you choose the topic, you indicate to me on the 1st of May. Then you take 10 days to prepare your outline and major notes as one-page notes. Send it around after the 10th day or so. You send it to the other fellow students, and then the fellow students take about 10 days to write your comments and your response and questions to that writer. And then the writer again takes about 10 days to finish editing and improving the paper. Then it submits on the 2nd of June to me. Then the special reflection paper is done. That's done in week 7. So you please prepare the fourth requirement, that is the term end research paper, which gives you 50% of the grade as follows. Develop the research theme that you have chosen for your special reflection paper. Remember, as in section B of this requirements list. I think it's in slides 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. You will see earlier the previous slides from here before. Now this term and research paper, you work out in this way. You develop from the special reflection paper. I think here I am expecting you to express your own creativity, your own critical mind, as well as the relevance. You need to make it relevant to your personal life and your life, the life of your church and the society where you live. So first, design a relevant title, and then you see what kind of subtitles emerge from there, and you list them and make a framework. Relevant title, subtitles with a kind of leading introduction, an introduction which really leads the reader, gets interest, reader should get interest to move further on with what you write. Leading introduction and conclusion that really challenges others to also join you in sharing your vision or your concern for your people in your research paper, through your research paper. So please design the relevant titles, subtitles, and be very careful about the leading kind of introduction and the catchy kind of challenging conclusion that you will be making. Then present and investigate valuable insights from secularization and globalization. Likewise, highlight the causes, the consequences, the implications, as well as the influences of either, if you write on secularization, the causes, consequences, implications, and the influences of secularization on you and or others as persons, and on religious institutions, especially the church in which you lead or you're a part of, and the belief systems and the communities. If it is secular globalization, you highlight the causes, consequences, implications, and influences of globalization on you and others as persons, religious institutions, belief systems, and communities in your life context. Again, please make sure you argue well. The paper should be logic enough. It should flow well with logic arguments. Every insight must be argued, and every insight must be analyzed, compared, contrasted, and also evaluated, relating them to your own context, your own village, city, nation, and the Pacific as the whole region today. And then share possible guidelines for your own personal Christian life, church, and ministry. What are the possible relevant guidelines that you could suggest in connection with that particular topic that you're dealing with around secularization or globalization? Your possible guidelines and also strategic responses to that. Another important guideline that you should keep in mind, both for the special reflection paper that you have seen is the requirement just before this one, the special reflection paper, as well as for this one, term and research paper, the line spacing is 1.5. The font is Times New Romans, and also the number of words here for the term and research paper, it is 4,000 words. And please, I think I'm sorry I missed it to say it to you. For the special reflection paper, as you see in your slide number 9, the maximum are somewhere around 1,000 words. It could be 1,100, 200, or it could be 950 above, around 1,000 words. Brothers, please make a note of this and always remember the closing dates. For the weekly analytical papers, as I said earlier, every Monday of the weeks 3 to 6. Monday of week 3, Monday of week 4, Monday of week 5, and Monday of week 6. So therefore, 4 weekly analytical papers on every Monday during weeks 3 to 6. Special reflection paper. Inform the lecturer of your topic of writing, May the 1st. Then work on your one-page notes and outline for about 10 days and circulate it to your friends around the 10th of May. And then they work on and they put down their responses and questions and comments to you within that May 10th to the 20th, and by 20th you receive the peer comments back and submit the special reflection paper after, during the 20th to the 30th or 1st of June. You work on it, edit it, and then send it to me the 2nd of June. And the term end research paper on the 12th of June. Again, please keep in mind of the closing dates. As you send it on the right time, it will reflect to me in a way your punctuality and your integrity in doing these different requirements as a minister and as the leader of the church and so on. Thanks. Brothers, as you join me this first week, beginning today, let us keep in mind of the 2 tasks that we do. The first one is recapping or reviewing sociology of religion. Kindly continue to please read and read and read and continue to recall the basic terms, theories, and other details that you learned about sociology of religion together with Dr. Kiki. Please use the class notes and also read my document that you sent earlier through the emails. Early theories on sociology of religion. It is in my email as an attachment sent to you, and also you can see it in the first folder in the Moodle with the title Recap Sociology of Religion 1. So that is the first task, recapping and reviewing sociology of religion. You do it mainly today and tomorrow. And if you really need to do further, please continue to do it, because it's always good to recall and build on the concepts and understanding of sociology of religion that you have learned last semester. Task 2 is understanding what is secularization. Please, the major task is to read Hamilton textbook, pages 185 to 191. Also read from Moodle's the PDF files in the folder named as additional books and resources for this week. There are 4 files that I have picked up from Atlas through the EBSCO database. You can also go there and get more as you like to, and it's important for you to develop your understanding of secularization. And then homeworks, as I said earlier, please continue to look into it, and it's good that you read a lot and then you make a kind of precise understanding of what is sociology, understanding of sociology of religion. Describe it in your own words, in 100 words. And then the second homework describe in your own words what is secularization in 200 words. Please submit them on Saturday, the 25th of April, coming Saturday. Thanks. So, my brothers, please note as I conclude this checking of the checklist together with you, you are very much encouraged to please read and read and read and reflect on your assigned pages in the textbook as given in your weekly schedule every week. And also, I very much encourage you to let me know your questions and comments via through emails and Moodles or our WhatsApp, namely PTC Church Ministry MTH 2020. Once again, your regular comments and questions will reflect your regular study and your co-quest or your joint quest with me on church's ministry in the context of sociology of religion in the Pacific today. So we are ready to go. So let us go onward, canoeing, but with the Lord and with one another together in a team. That's all. God bless and thank you again, and God's blessings.